This is my mother's recipe, the basis. Of course, I adapted the recipe, of course, but the base of the flavors that you're gonna see in terms of the spices and the balance in the beans, you're gonna taste the black beans for what they are. And I put a little bit of beans, right? So at this point, I liked it because I serve it individually, but then at the end of the day, the way that I eat a rice bowl is I just mix it all together and goes in, right? The chicken used to be very spicy on my taste. And of course, we think Mexican-inspired recipes, and you feel that, you just think that it's full of spices and very, seasoned in terms of no saltiness, but seasoned. You feel chipotle, you feel, chile, and you feel like, wow, your mouth is on fire. I figure we need to balance that out so you're able to taste the chicken and everything else. If not, everything is going to be spicy, right? So we got grilled chicken. I try to work, and again, when we're working in such a massive scale, right, it is important even the size of the bite. So even the thickness of the chicken is really important. The medium, right, in which you are making the marinade is really important too. So it's not only the spices, it's the marinade, it is the cut in the chicken, is if it is grilled, or we're gonna roast it, what are we gonna shred it, what are we gonna do? So we decided to go with, you see the cilantro, you see the grill marks, appetizing. So you have the perfect bite that you don't need a knife to start cutting it. That's what but I wanted the piece big enough that it will hold right and you're able to mix it with everything else. Then I need crunchiness. We're talking about contrast and textures. There is no way I'm gonna put something fried on my menu. I don't fry food. I don't know if you guys know about that. I just don't. On my menu, I love chips, right? I can have fried, some chips, it depends on the temperature. But on my menu, my core menu, I don't like fried items. Just because it's almost like, it is a challenge, I love it, but it's like a challenge for me how I can find the textures with something else. Like, let me challenge myself to do something like that. I love romaine because you have the crunch. I love romaine because you can almost have, instead of a tortilla, you can have a leaf, and you just have that crunch with the leaf. I love it. So anyway, when I did this, I'm gonna do it with the hands like I will do it in my restaurants after I wash my hands. So I put a little bit of the romaine lettuce that I could bring that crunch. So you have the rice, you have the earthiness of the black beans, then you have your chicken that is marinated, it's delicious, you have tons of flavor, but it's not overpowerful. And then I have my lechuguita, which is my romaine lettuce. This I call, in my book, the goddess dressing. I call it the goddess dressing because I learned to do, this is one of my first recipes that I learned how to do with my nanny. Of course, again, the first menu I wanted to be related to the way that I grew up because that's when I feel comfortable. So I figure, I want to make a menu that you feel like, wow, I love this. There's something homey about it. So I created, again, based on a little bit of garlic, white vinegar, and cilantro, and some other ingredients. I cannot give the recipe away, or she will kill me. A little bit of the goddess cilantro dressing, right on top, not much, because we want everything to bind together, but we don't want to sauce it so much that it will be mushy, so we just have the right amount. And then we have our creaminess, and this will also have tons of lemon notes, the dressing, and a lot of people ask me if I want to bottle this dressing because it's really good, really, really good. I'm very proud of it. So, and if you see, it's not a heavy mayonnaise-y dressing, it's really, it dilutes and it goes well with everything else. Then I have the creaminess of my guacamole, of course. I needed to put some guacamole, right in the middle. Then I have the sweetness of the corn, right? That's gonna bring me texture as well. That's why I grill it. I bring that earthiness as well, some smoky flavor with the corn. So a little bit of corn, right? Look at the colors. Again, we're talking about less than $5. And a menu that really, to me, it costs a lot. And then you have, remember that I was telling you about the jalapenos and the dressing, that I will lose it. I'm like, I want to see this fresh. I want to see these ingredients for what they are. The lemon will cut through all the creaminess of the guacamole. It will cut through all the black beans, and with the rice and the lettuce, the corn, will everything bind together. A little bit of the fiesta salsa will bring you that brightness with the tomatoes and the onions. And something about the onions, when they're raw, you just have a little bit of lemon. And with the time, what happens is, like, I don't know if you guys know about salsa criolla. Do you guys know? Salsa criolla. You know about salsa criolla, girl. I know what you're talking about. This is more or less what I wanted to create. Salsa criolla, we use it a lot in Venezuela. Peru is one of the staples. You know when you have the carnitas, you usually have these red onions on top that will cut through the carnitas and the creaminess of the guacamole when you're eating a taco. I'm gonna give you a simple recipe. Salsa criolla is red onion, cut very thinly sliced. You either pour vinegar or lemon juice and let it rest for 20 minutes. Two things happen. You take the bitterness of the onion, okay, and you just release that juice, and then you just take the onions for they're a little bit acidic and they cut through, right? I'm right, no? I'm right.
That's
All right.
I'm like,
So I wanted to do something in that base of the salsa criolla that will cut through and give that brightness, but of course with the tomatoes and the cilantro will give us that balance. And that is how the rice bowl is born.